Okay, hello people on the internet. It's finally here. Kingdom Death Monster. The thing that many of us have been waiting a very long time for. Sometimes it feels like it was only me waiting, but often it felt like there was many. So, it's been in the hands of backers for a couple of weeks now on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. You know, all the Americans have been putting out loads of videos, and I thought, you know what? Why not have a British person put one out as well? So, here we are. Kingdom Death Monster is a nightmare survival horror board game with lots of monsters and lots of people trying to survive the horrific environment in which they find themselves. There are 2 boxes here. We have survivor level rewards, that's extra stuff, and then the core box itself. Now, generally the survivor rewards are things which are already in the main box, but as you can see, they're wrapped up in plastic. I'll just get some of this off. So essentially, this box is mainly just extra stuff. And I'm probably going to... oh no, it's quite simple to open. In here we have lots and lots of sprues of figures. Countless sprues. I should probably do a separate episode on them just alone, really. They're probably not that countless. I'll just, you know, count them. But essentially everything in here is like a backup copy or an additional copy of something that's in the main box. So I'll be essentially finding everything in the main box anyway, so no need to do it all twice. And yet it seems such a shame to close all these lovely fine details. Nah, I'll come back to this box if there's anything that doesn't show up in the other one. So I'll just move that aside for a moment and get onto the big box. With, again, lots of wonderful packaging. Now, something I noticed, which I noticed with a few other boxes recently, is this indentation along the edge where the top meets the side. I don't know if that's supposed to grant additional strength to the box. It feels like it grants less, and the main reason I'm talking about that at the moment is because I'm, of course, getting all this plastic wrapping off. Isn't it fun when everything in our lives has to be wrapped up in fine yet incredibly durable layers of plastic, which are a pain to get into, as I'm sure many of you have experienced. In fact, if you have any elderly relatives, they may complain about such packaging. So we have our box lid design, which is black on black, and as I feel along the underside here, I'm feeling another indentation where the card layers don't quite meet. It feels like it makes it weaker overall. As you can see here, there's a strong indentation there where the edges don't quite meet up, and I'm not sure if that's a sign of quality or if it's some remarkable new design technique that has been brought in by many factories to increase the durability of cardboard products. However, so black on black, not the easiest to see. We have this design of a hooded individual within a sort of long scarf, lots of roses and flowers. Actually, the flowers might not all be roses, and of course some Kingdom Death lanterns. The lantern is iconic of the game because, of course, it takes place in a set of darkened caverns where humanity struggles to survive without the sunlight, and nasty horrible monsters come to eat them. Yep, that's going to be fun, isn't it? So the lid is a nice tight fit. Yeah, so it may be to do with the inner meetings where they've gone straight on straight instead of sort of beveled edges. Yeah, that's a really bad way of me trying to show, but anyway, I'll move that aside. So, fortunately, at some point in the future, this web link will be active. I checked it yesterday, and it wasn't quite ready yet. But the website will produce building instructions and tutorials for many of the figures. I like these two tabs here. They make it very easy to just reach in and pick this up, and it's quite light. And I believe that this is going to be rather similar to the additional survivor level reward box stuff. And yes, you see lots of loud rattling sprues of grey plastic. So I'll take a few of these out, because there is a load in here. Already I'm seeing one wing and a separate wing, so things are spread across different sprues. I'm going to have to be very careful, and of course all this sellotape helps keep things together, but makes it harder to get into things. So I'm just going to get a trusty blade, because it's mine now, you know. I'm the only person who's going to get upset if I damage anything, which means I'm going to be incredibly careful not to, but it also means that sellotape doesn't need to remain intact. Oh dear, bye bye sellotape. You serve your purpose well. Rest in pieces. So here we have lots of bases. In true Kingdom Death style, we have the two-part base. There's a hollow base section. Oh no, they've redone it, I think. And then we have the wonderful face base toppers. I have been very excited about the face bases, I must admit. So the floors of the caverns in which these people survive are littered with these carved stone faces. I'll just pull a few out here. And it will be upon these faces that they stand. I do know that when the later waves are coming, I will have many more base toppers, enough indeed to cover the whole box, hopefully. I did a lot of counting and maths to work out how many I'd need, and it was a shocking amount. So these will, I presume, just sit fairly smugly on top of there. Snugly. And in fact that is separate. So the top there will come out. You have a normal top or a face-based top, which of course is going to need a bit of trimming because it's come off a sprue. And of course, no, these are probably right out of focus. So hey, look here, face stuff. Moving to the sides here, I see, now many of the sprues are going to be people. I see feet, legs, lots of hands, lots of weapons, breastplates, backplates. There should even be a lot of little heads on here as well, tiny little heads, and some shields. So much of the equipment that these tribal humans use will be assembled from the remains of the horrific creatures they have faced. And of course there's the telephone ringing, wonderful. Hello? Oh, you've got to be kidding. And as if you needed proof, that was a British unboxing. That was a nuisance call again about PPI reimbursements. Yeah, you know, automated voice. Due to government changes, if you've had a PPI payment ever, we want to get in on that money and get some of your, you can get it back. And then you can give some of it to us for ringing you up and hassling you. Honestly, at this point, I think there probably are a few people who, hey, I think I found the heads with the feathers that go the rest of that phoenix sprue there. But essentially, anybody who has missold PPI in the past has probably dealt with it by now. It's kind of like people who don't own a mobile phone. I do not own a mobile phone, however, I also don't have any outstanding PPI issues that need to be sorted, so what a pain in the backside that was. So lots of lovely figures. We of course have the everyone's going to want to see, you know, the phoenix wings. They are ginormous. The second one is down here. There is part of a wing or a base or a tail. So yeah, multiple parts, lots of pieces. I'm going to have fun putting all this together. Now I do understand that the majority of the sprues, the components on the sprues are numbered, which will make assembling them a whole lot easier. But for now, I'm going to set these aside. It does indeed look remarkably similar to the contents of the Survivor bonus place level stuff. And if these merit a second video of their own at some point, then so be it. But for now, let's go take a look at some of the other stuff in the box, because there's plenty of it to be getting through. And there we go. I should have, of course, tabbed those in as well to guide this lower tab home. So, oh, one thing I did not mention was these mysterious two pieces of grey cardboard. One was placed below the box, one was placed on top within the packaging. I presume they're just packaging, but I could always pretend there was some kind of mysterious game aid. But I must identify the use for. So here we have a screen, and I don't know if those are supposed to be folded. So this is the hunt track, which will be used when survivors go out hunting for the clan. They hunt seeking for a monster. If they find it, they fight it. If they don't, goodness knows. But on the back of this, there are a number of things. Possibly a play sequence indicator. We have set up a settlement, survivors return, gain endeavours, draw settlement event. Update death count, yeah, I think a lot of them are going to die. Update timeline, develop big hammer for building things. Principal innovations and settlement locations. So this might actually be a kind of spreadsheet for putting out the settlement stuff, because of course they have a little village they live in. We have innovation deck, prepare departing survivors. So this will be when they go off for the next hunt. Record and archive resources, and end settlement phase. So this is like, the game plays in 3 phases. You have the battle phase, the settlement phase, and then the hunt phase, which comes before the next battle phase. And it's cyclical. Here we have this I presume is laid by the side of the board for the monsters. The health cards for monsters will go there, the AI, their mind and behaviour cards go there. Basic actions and wound stack, I'm sure that'll make a lot more sense when I've read the rulebook. And then traits and tokens will, I presume, go here. So this will be to track the hideous, horrific monsters that our doughty, hearty humans are trying to survive. Okay, so that's blank on the other side, that's good, because you don't want everything to be double-sided. Here we have sheets of tokens. Lots of tokens here. Strength. Oh, -1 strength, -1 movement, accuracy, speed, luck, evasion, toughness, damage. So I presume these are all ability scores that the survivors will have. And obviously they can gain penalties to them. These are blood tokens used for when people get wounds. These look kind of mad, like a person screaming or freaking out, and I know that insanity is a big thing in this game, so yeah, hence how long it took to get to us, right? A few more tokens there, duplicates of these. Here we have a lot of lantern tokens, different coloured backs. They don't appear to be double-sided, so I presume actually the colours are the fronts, and that they are dealt this way and used to determine something to do with the colours, as these are mostly the same with double sides, apart from the lantern tokens, which, as I've mentioned, have colours on this side. So I presume the colours are supposed to be randomly determined, because I've heard something about red survivors, blue survivors, green survivors, and I don't know, the grey must be pretty damn useless. We have a second sheet of tokens. These are not double-sided and come free rather easily. So yes, a big giant tree token. I'll look forward to that. We have some pillars. They look like they've fallen down. Monster controller. I presume players take it in turns to control the monster. We have what looks like some kind of, but I want to say pit, but it's not, is it? We have like plants growing out of the stone faces. That looks like some kind of corpse, let's be honest, and that's a little bit rude, so I'll just put my finger over that for a moment, just pretend you didn't see that, and if you did, well done you. We have some more stone faces. I presume these are pieces of scenery that make... Now these two are interesting because I think they've just flipped the artwork. Yeah, this one is that one, just the other way around, which is totally fine. It helps keep things fresh and different. We have some more pillar-like obstacles here. Stone faces with plants growing out of the eye socket. Some kind of insect thing and crystals growing on stone faces. So that'll all be fun to look into in a bit. We have a board. Of course we do. What would a board game be without a board? It's a folding board. It's going to be one of those S-shaped ones. So there we go. So it's a little off-center, as you may notice. We have this big space here. I'm presuming that the what's it bit I found earlier either goes down the side there or it goes on the other side to balance things out. That again is something I look forward to finding out in the rulebook. It's a good solid board, nice cardboard, very nicely assembled. Given the way the board folds, it does mean it's going to be less durable than a single piece board, and I may look into getting some sort of replacement eventually if it starts falling apart. In the box we have lots of things. This is the lowest level of the box now. It literally doesn't go any lower. So we have dice. We have 10-sided dice and 6-sided dice. Most of the dice are black. They have the Kingdom Death lantern on instead of the 10. The 6-sided dice, I'm seeing a head, a hand, some kind of girdle or electric plug cord, and some kind of, is that body or whole body? I'm not sure. So that looks like hit location dice. The white one does have the lantern, so I don't know if the white one is something special or not, if it is treated differently or if it's just another one. We have armor sets, and I presume, given the bigger cards that go together, I understand that these may be dividers, because we have a lovely organised tray in here for keeping all these... Oh, listen to that. Listen to that. A nice little rasping sound there. All these cards, these many cards. So there appear to be, if these black two are dividing, for categories, we have Barber Surgeon. This appears to be settlement locations that can be built. Because of course, as you may or may not know, in medieval times the barber was also the local surgeon and would pull teeth and do other things like that. There appear to be objects here which can be built using resources which are listed below. Resources will be gained from monster encounters. And in fact there are colours on them which we'll get to in a bit. So let's put that back. This looks like settlement events. So are these marked on the back as well? No, these are not marked on the back. So settlement events, first day I presume comes first. The game begins with a horrific monster attack and those who survive get to form a settlement. Oh, character sheets. Character sheets, not only just character sheets, but they look like the little ones from Hero Quest years ago. Oh, that was brilliant. Lots of little boxes to tick or shade in, lines to write on. I'm probably going to go photocopy a load of these, to be honest, because that's not going to last too long. I mean, if monsters kill my poor little heroes and heroines, I'm going to need some spare sheets. I actually found one or two online someone had done, that looked quite good, and even an interactable one. I may look into that at some point. Here we have the equipment grid stuff that relates to the character sheet. The equipment cards are placed on the grid. Let me just pick up some equipment cards for a moment there. Okay, that's not an equipment card, is it? So we have resource cards for all the resources things can be made with. Okay, next try. Hey, actually equipment. So the equipment cards are placed on the grid. It's a, you may not be able to see this in the dark here, but it's a 3x3 grid. And if I can find one with some colours on, ah yes, here we have one with a blue colour on. So what will happen is you'll put your cards together like that, and they'll have little bits of colour around the edge, and if the colours on the edges match up, you get some kind of bonus out of it. So there will be a benefit to equipping survivors wisely. This, of course, is another mystery of the game which will be uncovered over time. Yeah, I know I keep saying that, but honestly, I'm wanting to sort of dive in uninformed and just experience the pure visceral horror of being ripped apart by monsters and see how it goes. I'll just move those aside for a moment, because this looks like the rulebook. Here we have some more card decks, random event. Okay, these are probably used for a whip, specialisation. So I know that there's going to be a lot of cards in here for the monsters, and I know there's like 7 different kinds of monsters, so each of these is going to be... because I know there's 3 levels of monster. There's like the basic level, the medium level, and the advanced level. They're like, you know, baby, grown-up one, and like really rock hard super killer death monster that's going to rip your face off. Yeah, so I'm going to have fun sorting those cards. They're probably already sorted, but they're secret fighting arts. Those will be fun. Now I think those are like tactical things. There's some plants here, and then we have some more cards to look through. Oh, Berserker, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. just leaping in to try and rip something apart. It's probably a major weakness as well. So, the rulebook. It is a thing of beauty, as many others have commented. It appears to have some minor scratches or lines on it, but that could be intentional and part of the design. Let's check the back. And if not, hey, mine's just got that little bit of extra character, that little bit of battle damage which shows it's had some practice before it got here, with its slightly bent corners on the cover there. Yeah. So, again, gorgeous artwork. That's disturbing for starters. I understand that it's written in quite a simple way where you can just begin to read and play. Read and play. And it's even quite a nice, like, you know, not too many words per page there to begin with. And of course, after the introduction we get to the actual, you know, the beginning of the game, forming the tribe. And we'll see these characters a lot. They, yeah, she's doing something naughty about glue there. It's got on his hair. He is not happy trying to stick that together. It looks a bit like me actually when I'm trying to stick things together. That facial expression of intense staring. Yeah. So yep, I understand that you can just read through it and play as you go. It'll introduce things a bit at a time, and then there's lots of events and sections that probably relate to the cards. Yeah, there are some naked bits. Beware, this is a grown-up game. This is not a kiddies game, unfortunately. This looks like a character sheet for the settlement, or settlement record sheet, whatever we want to call it. I suppose we keep track of various things here. Death count's probably important. Some monsters might, you know, if too many people die, some monsters might come and think the tribe's easy pickings or something. Nemesis monsters, that's got to be bad. Settlement locations. Yep, there's a load of stuff on the back as well. Okay, so there we have it. I'm going to take this away, and I'd be lying if I said I'm going to take this away and get it all built now. What I'm likely to do is take it away, get a few starting models built, play a few games, come back, do some videos and talk about it. Because, in all honesty, when there's been, that many figures, I ain't sticking those together anytime soon. I take my time, I do things slow. Some would say I'm a lazy git. Probably am. But hey, so that was the unboxing, the British unboxing as it were, for Kingdom Death Monster. The monsters will be coming to kill my poor defenseless little humans, and they will be doing the best they can to, seven samurai defend their village from the depredations of the monsters. But for now, I get to go cut and glue, stick things together, and enjoy my lovely new toy. Bye bye.